Jean Béliveau was born on August 31st, 1931, in Trois-Rivières, Quebec, though his family soon moved to Victoriaville, a small town in the province's eastern townships. He was the oldest of 8 children in a working-class family. His father, Arthur Béliveau, worked in a factory to support their large household. These were difficult times for many families in Quebec, as the Great Depression had hit the region hard. The Béliveau family lived modestly, with resources stretched thin across their many children. Young Jean's first experiences with hockey came not on organized rinks, but on the frozen ponds and makeshift ice surfaces of rural Quebec. During the harsh Canadian winters, these natural ice rinks became Jean's first training grounds. Without proper equipment, he often used his sister's hand-me-down figure skates with the toe picks filed down. His first hockey sticks were usually tree branches, and pucks were sometimes frozen pieces of horse manure or small rocks. Despite these humble beginnings, Jean showed natural ability on the ice from an early age. The financial struggles of the Béliveau family meant that proper hockey equipment was a luxury they could rarely afford. Arthur Béliveau recognized his son's talent, but providing him with skates, sticks, and protective gear required significant sacrifice. Often, Arthur would work extra shifts at the factory to save money for Jean's hockey needs. The family would sometimes go without certain comforts so that Jean could continue playing the game he loved. These sacrifices weren't lost on young Jean, who developed a strong work ethic and sense of gratitude that would stay with him throughout his life. As Jean grew, so did his natural talent on the ice. By the age of 12, he already stood taller than most boys his age and displayed unusual coordination and skill with the puck. Local coaches began to take notice of the lanky boy with a smooth skating style and soft hands. In youth games around Victoriaville, Jean consistently stood out, not just for his size, but for his gentle demeanor and respectful approach to the game. Unlike many talented young players, he never showed off or tried to embarrass opponents. This sportsmanship, instilled by his parents, would become a hallmark of his entire career. Jean's father played a crucial role in his early development as a hockey player. Arthur Béliveau wasn't just a provider of equipment. He was Jean's first coach, biggest fan, and moral compass. Each evening after long days at the factory, Arthur would take Jean to the local rinks for additional practice. He taught Jean not just the fundamentals of hockey, but the importance of playing the game with integrity. "It's not enough to be good," Arthur would tell his son. "You must also be good to others." These early lessons from his father shaped Jean's character both on and off the ice. By his early teens, Jean's reputation had grown beyond Victoriaville. Scouts from junior hockey teams began making the trip to watch the tall, skillful center play. His unusual combination of size, skill, and gentlemanly play made him stand out. Though opportunities to leave home for bigger hockey programs presented themselves, the Béliveau family approached these decisions carefully, always balancing Jean's hockey development with his education and moral upbringing. This thoughtful approach to his early career reflected the values that would guide Jean through the coming challenges and opportunities in his journey to hockey greatness. These formative years in Victoriaville laid the foundation for what would become one of hockey's most celebrated careers. From frozen ponds to the bright lights of the NHL, Jean Béliveau's journey began with these humble roots, a testament to how far talent, character, and family support can take a young player with a dream. Jean Béliveau's path to professional hockey began in earnest with the Quebec Citadels, a junior hockey team where he quickly established himself as a standout player. At just 16 years old, he joined the Citadels and impressed everyone with his exceptional skills. Despite his youth, Béliveau displayed remarkable poise and ability on the ice. His unusually large frame for a teenager, he was already over 6 feet tall, combined with his natural grace made him an imposing figure. During his time with the Citadels, he refined his playing style and began to draw serious attention from scouts at higher levels of hockey. After his junior hockey success, Béliveau moved up to the Quebec Aces of the Quebec Senior Hockey League, a step below the NHL but still high-level hockey. With the Aces, Béliveau truly flourished. His dominance in the league was unprecedented, as he combined his large frame with remarkable stick-handling abilities and a powerful but accurate shot. Fans packed the Quebec Coliseum to watch Béliveau play, and his popularity soared throughout the province. He earned the nickname Gros Bill after a popular French-Canadian folk hero, reflecting both his physical stature and growing legendary status. During this period, Béliveau was widely considered the best hockey player not playing in the NHL. The Montreal Canadiens recognized Béliveau's immense talent and began an intense pursuit to bring him to their team. Frank Zelka Sr., the Canadiens' general manager, was determined to sign Béliveau to a contract. The Canadiens had actually owned his NHL rights since 1950 when he was 19 years old, but Béliveau wasn't ready to make the move. Zelka tried various approaches to convince him, including offering substantial financial incentives unusual for that era. The Canadiens' pursuit of Béliveau demonstrated just how valuable they considered him to be to their organization's future. Despite the Canadiens' persistent interest, Béliveau was initially reluctant to turn professional. He valued education highly and wanted to complete his studies before fully committing to a hockey career. Additionally, he had developed strong ties to Quebec City and its fans, who adored him. He was also making a good salary with the Aces, comparable to what many NHL players earned at the time. This period of Béliveau's career showed his thoughtful approach to life decisions and his unwillingness to be rushed, even with the prestige of the NHL beckoning. His dedication to balancing education and hockey demonstrated a maturity beyond his years. Eventually, the Montreal Canadiens resorted to an extraordinary measure to acquire Béliveau. In a move that showed just how determined they were to get him, the Canadiens purchased the entire Quebec Senior Hockey League and converted it into a professional league. This strategic maneuver meant that Béliveau, now considered a professional player, would fall under the Canadiens' control according to the hockey rules of that era. In 1953, Béliveau finally signed with the Montreal Canadiens under what became known as the Special Clause contract, reportedly one of the most lucrative in hockey at that time. This unprecedented series of events highlighted not only Béliveau's exceptional value as a player, but also the lengths to which the Canadiens would go to secure his talents. The journey from local Victoriaville talent to Quebec hockey star represented a crucial transition in Béliveau's life. During these formative years in the Quebec hockey system, he developed not only as a player but as a person. His experiences with the Citadels and Aces prepared him for the challenges he would face in the NHL. More importantly, they helped shape his character, reinforcing the values of hard work, loyalty, and respect that would define his career. As he finally prepared to join the Montreal Canadiens, Béliveau carried with him a lesson from his rise through the ranks of Quebec hockey. Jean Béliveau's early days in the National Hockey League were not as smooth as many had expected. Despite his dominance in the Quebec Senior Hockey League, Béliveau found the adjustment to NHL play challenging. The pace was faster, the players more skilled, and the physical play more intense than anything he had experienced before. While his natural talent was evident, Béliveau initially struggled with the heightened physicality of the NHL game. At 6 feet 3 inches and 205 pounds, he had rarely faced opponents who could match his size and strength. Now, he was competing against seasoned professionals who targeted him because of his reputation. These early difficulties tested Béliveau's resolve and forced him to adapt his playing style. After a period of adjustment, Béliveau began to find his stride in the NHL. His elegant skating and exceptional puck-handling skills started to shine through as he gained confidence and experience. By his third season with the Canadiens, he had developed into one of the league's premier centers. The 1955-56 season marked his true emergence as a star when he led the NHL with 47 goals and 41 assists, winning the Art Ross Trophy as the league's top scorer. This performance silenced any remaining doubts about his ability to excel at the highest level. Béliveau's combination of size, skill, and hockey intelligence made him nearly unstoppable when he was at his best. He could control the pace of play, create scoring opportunities for teammates, and finish plays with his accurate shot. In 1961, Béliveau reached another milestone in his hockey career when he was named captain of the Montreal Canadiens. This honor recognized not only his outstanding play but also his leadership qualities and the respect he commanded throughout the league. As captain, Béliveau led both on and off the ice. He set an example with his professional approach to the game, his sportsmanship, and his dedication to improvement. Teammates looked to him for guidance, and coaches relied on him to reinforce team values. Béliveau's captaincy marked the beginning of one of the most successful periods in Canadiens history, cementing his legacy as one of hockey's greatest leaders. The 1960s became known as the dynasty years for the Montreal Canadiens, with Béliveau at the center of their success. During this remarkable decade, he led the team to 10 Stanley Cup championships, an unprecedented achievement in professional sports. The Canadiens dominated the NHL, with teams built around Béliveau's leadership and exceptional play. He contributed crucial goals in playoff games and provided steady guidance through the pressure of championship runs. The Canadiens teams of this era featured many Hall of Fame players, but Béliveau was widely recognized as the heart and soul of the dynasty. His ability to elevate his play in important moments became legendary, as did his gracious handling of success. Never boastful in victory, he always credited his teammates and the organization for their achievements. Throughout his NHL career, Béliveau developed a signature playing style that combined skill, strength, and unmatched sportsmanship. Unlike many star players of his era, he rarely engaged in fighting or unnecessary rough play. He believed the game should be played with respect for opponents and officials. This approach earned him admiration throughout the hockey world, even from rival players and fans. Béliveau's playing style was characterized by his smooth skating stride, remarkable vision on the ice, and ability to protect the puck with his large frame. He could score goals with his accurate shot or set up teammates with perfectly placed passes. What truly set Béliveau apart was how he conducted himself during games, always competitive but never crossing the line of fair play. This combination of elite skill and exemplary behavior made him the model NHL player. Béliveau's impact on hockey extended beyond his individual achievements. He helped transform the center position, using his size and skill to control the middle of the ice in ways few players had before. Many future NHL centers would study his positioning and puck protection techniques. Off the ice, he represented the Canadiens organization with dignity and class, making himself available to fans and charitable causes. His fluency in both French and English helped him connect with all segments of the Montreal community, making him a unifying figure in a city sometimes divided by language. Throughout his NHL career, Béliveau embodied the ideal of what a professional athlete should be: talented, hardworking, and aware of his responsibilities as a role model. Jean Béliveau's retirement in 1971 marked the end of his playing career, but the beginning of a new chapter in his life and his contribution to hockey. His final game at the Montreal Forum was an emotional event for fans, teammates, and Béliveau himself. After 18 seasons and 1,125 games with the Canadiens, he skated off the ice for the last time, having scored 507 goals and 712 assists for 1,219 points in regular season play. His playoff statistics were equally impressive, with 79 goals and 97 assists in 162 games. More meaningful than these numbers were the 10 Stanley Cup championships he had won as a player, a testament to his leadership and skill. The standing ovation that lasted several minutes during his retirement ceremony reflected the deep respect and affection the Montreal fans had for their longtime captain. In recognition of his extraordinary career, Béliveau was immediately inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1972. The Hall of Fame typically required a waiting period of several years after retirement before considering a player for induction. However, in Béliveau's case, this waiting period was waived, an honor reserved for only the most exceptional players. This immediate induction highlighted the universal recognition of his contributions to hockey. His Hall of Fame plaque celebrated not only his statistical achievements, but also his sportsmanship and leadership, qualities that had defined his playing career. Béliveau joined an elite group of hockey legends, his place in the sport's history firmly established. Following his retirement as a player, Béliveau accepted an executive role with the Montreal Canadiens organization. As the team's vice president of corporate affairs, he continued to contribute to the club's success and traditions. In this capacity, he served as an ambassador for the team, representing the Canadiens at official functions and maintaining relationships with sponsors and fans. His presence in the executive suite added prestige to the organization and provided valuable guidance to younger players. During his executive tenure, the Canadiens won 7 more Stanley Cups, bringing Béliveau's total to 17 championships, a remarkable achievement that spans both his playing and administrative careers. His smooth transition from player to executive demonstrated his adaptability and business acumen. Throughout his retirement years, Béliveau dedicated substantial time and energy to humanitarian work and philanthropy. He established the Jean Béliveau Foundation, which raised millions of dollars for children's causes throughout Quebec. His charitable activities extended to numerous organizations, including hospitals, educational institutions, and programs for underprivileged youth. Béliveau was particularly committed to ensuring that children from all backgrounds had opportunities to play sports and receive education. He made countless personal appearances at charity events, often donating memorabilia for fundraising auctions. His generosity with his time and resources reflected the values he had displayed throughout his hockey career: compassion, responsibility, and a desire to give back to his community. Béliveau's impact on hockey culture and the city of Montreal was profound and lasting. In a hockey-obsessed city, he became more than just a sports figure. He was a cultural icon who represented the best of both French and English Canadian traditions. His ability to communicate fluently in both languages helped bridge the linguistic divide in Montreal. For generations of young hockey players in Quebec and across Canada, Béliveau provided a model of excellence both in athletic achievement and personal conduct. The Canadiens recognized his importance to the organization by erecting a bronze statue of him outside the Bell Center and retiring his number 4 jersey. Streets, arenas, and sports facilities throughout Quebec bear his name, ensuring that future generations will remember his contributions. The final chapter of Jean Béliveau's story is his enduring legacy as the ultimate gentleman of hockey. Though he passed away in 2014 at the age of 83, his influence continues to permeate the game at all levels. NHL players still speak of him with reverence, citing his example of how to conduct oneself with dignity in both victory and defeat. The Lady Byng Memorial Trophy, awarded annually to the NHL player who best combined sportsmanship with playing ability, exemplifies the values Béliveau represented throughout his career. Beyond the records and championships, Béliveau's most significant contribution to hockey may be how he elevated the sport through his character. From the frozen ponds of Victoriaville to the highest echelons of professional hockey, Jean Béliveau demonstrated that greatness is measured not just by what one achieves, but by how one achieves it.